Okay. Yeah.
Good evening. Thank you for joining us at New Day Fellowship Church, Growing Church, New Vision for a Multicultural Generation. We want to let you know if you're on Facebook, push like, comment, and share. If you're on YouTube, push like, comment, and subscribe. Okay? You don't have to say it one more time. On Facebook, push like, comment, and share. And on YouTube, push like, comment, and subscribe. And also remember to push the bell button and let you know that we are live. Also, if you're watching and you want your name called out, and if it doesn't interfere with the conversation that we're having, you can type your name in to the IT person and they'll put it up on the screen and I'll call your name out. You know, sometimes people like to hear their name. They, just something about your name and they just smile and grin and gleam and everything else. But we'll let you know that this is live right here and it is on a Wednesday evening and we in Temple, Texas, and let you know that this is a church. If you're interested in coming to church and hanging out with us and come a part of this great church, you can come and hang out with us. And we like to say, come as you are, and that means it don't matter what you're doing, what you're going through, whatever, just come, and then we let Jesus fix it for you. We can't fix it for you, but we let Jesus fix it for you. But let you know that we have a special guest here this evening, and not only that, but he is here, and I tell you what, I know we're about 3 or 4 minutes late. Reason being, because we was in the office and we just talking and got excited about what he was doing and things that he's preparing to do. Then I asked him what time was it, and he said 6:30. I said 6:30. Lord have mercy. I said we're late because it starts at 6:30. But thank you for allowing us to be a little late, but that's okay. It's all in God's timing. So thank you for joining us again. And not only that, come and be a part of some church that's doing something. And we're a church on the go. We're a church on the move. We like to do things. Not like we have to run different places, but we're experiencing God in a very unique way here. But let me just tell you the information that we got going on here. We have a special person. I met him a couple of weeks ago, but then I forgot who he was and everything else. And then he just came back into our life again. Why? Because of his wife. His wife, we was at a breakfast session yesterday morning, and she got to talk. She said, let me introduce you to my husband, and that's how we got introduced for tonight. So thank you for that, and I want to introduce you to Nigel.
Yes, sir.
Nigel Dunn, Dunn.
Yes, sir.
And so, Nigel, let me tell me about you before we get into anything else, because we're gonna have a fun time tonight. I mean, we got to talking and having fun.
Yes, sir. Well, my name is Nigel Dunn. I am from Galveston, Texas. Graduate of Ball High.
Okay.
Mike Evans, that's where he from.
Okay.
I gotta give him a shout out. I'm a veteran, 23 years Army. I retired in 2017. Since then, I've been working on different brands. Bum is one of them, and I'm so excited to talk about Bum.
Wow. And I got excited just listening to you talking about Bum and different things that you was doing in the area, and I like, wow. I said, and you bought a shirt to give to me. I appreciate that, even though it was different. I wear a larger size in there, but that's okay. That's okay. At least I got one, and
Yes, sir.
I can always just put girdle on and then put it on. Just playing, just playing.
I didn't want to offend you, so I had to
Hey.
bring a smaller size.
Yes, yeah, but hey, so you can tell right now, but it's okay. It's always the printing press is always working at your place. Okay, so tell me about you, how you met your wife first.
So I met her when I was in the military. I was working in one shop. She was working in the other across the hall. And when I first saw her, I was like, she was interesting. But I was involved with someone else at the time that might get me in trouble. But she pursued me, believe it or not. She pursued me. That's back when we had MySpace. And so she was going through my pictures, and I had a shirt. I had a picture with no shirt on, and she kind of typed in there, "show off," and I responded back to her. I forgot what I said, and so the next day at work, we saw each other. I kind of approached her, said a couple of things. She said a couple of things to me, and so we had a long weekend. And so the guy in charge say, reach out to somebody in charge if you ever get in trouble. So that night she texted me and it was like, hey, the NCO said reach out to someone in charge, so I'm reaching out to you, and so, so she reached out to me, and ever since that night we've been inseparable, and now we got 3 beautiful kings. I like to call them kings: Nigel Jr., Nico, and Nevin.
All Ians.
Yes, sir. And sometimes I get tongue tied. Now I know how my grandma felt when she called all her grandkids. I call them all by names. I say, "Hey, you know who I'm talking to? Come on over here."
Wow.
Yeah, but yeah, we have a beautiful life. I wouldn't change her for anything in the world. Yeah, that's my baby.
How many years y'all been married?
So this year would be 14 would be.
Wow.
I'm
You better
sorry.
get it right there because she'll be watching this.
All right, so we've been together for 15 years,
Okay.
and this year would be 10 years.
God. Awesome.
Yes, sir.
Man, that's awesome. You know, I heard this on the radio. I didn't make this up myself. They said marriage is the tool that God uses to find out who you really are. And it just stuck with me. And I hear that all the time. I said, that is true.
Yeah, that's so true. I'm really finding out who I am through this journey.
Right.
And I told her today, I said, marriage makes you work. It makes you find out who you really are. And I told her that marriage is hard, but it's only because you love them, only because you want to make it work that it's hard.
Right.
And that's what I told her this morning.
Yeah. And, you know, the fun thing about it, how he got here, everyone, is that I was talking to a different person about the podcast, and so she was ear hustling. And then she came to me out, she said, my husband and I, you know, we do this ministry. I said, really? And so that's how you got here for tonight. So, I mean, you know, it's not a coincidence. It's just something that happened because God wanted this to happen.
You know, believe it or not, maybe a year ago, she wouldn't have approached you. She was shy. She stayed to herself. And since she's been working with the insurance group, she's been all over the place. And she's always been giving me shots out, always put me in the right positions to meet people, the right people. And I just thank God that she is out of that shell.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Now let's talk about bum. And I'm telling you, get have your pen and pad out because this gentleman is doing a whole lot of things. He's just not talking about it, but he's experiencing things. Not only that, but he's an active person. He's an active Christian, should I say? Active, not just so I'm a Christian, but he's an active Christian, and that's what God is calling us all to be: is active, not just talk about it, but be about it. And so tell me what BUM is. It's an acronym, and it means.
Yes, sir. So BUM means blessings undelivered momentarily.
Okay, blessings undelivered momentarily.
Yes, sir.
Got it.
And so I came up with BUM because I hated the word bum. When people talk about people who's on the streets or who's homeless or who's unhoused, they always call them bums. And I couldn't stand that word. So I took that acronym and I was like, I'm gonna make it mean something. And I took it, I put it together, and now I copyrighted it. And now it's in the Library of Congress as BUM. And so now when you look at it, or when you should be able to look at it, and that's what it means. It's a positive thing. And we all are bums in some way. We all are waiting for that blessing to come, right?
Yes, sir.
That haven't been delivered yet. And so I'm a bum, I'm waiting for another blessing to come, and that's how I feel about it. And so when I put BUM together, I'm thinking about people who need things as far as like being off the street. I want to build a no-cost facility for people to live in. I want to build a program that's 18 months long, well, no longer than 18 months, where they can live in at no cost for free. Don't have to worry about laying their heads or where they're going to lay their heads, where they're going to get food from. And that's one thing that they can just like breeze through. And it's a program though. They're not going to sit there and just like, chill out. They have to like meet each step as they go through the program. And then they're going to be introduced to the working class, the working environment. So that's the program in a nutshell. And I'm going to build. It's called BUM Towers. It's going to be like an apartment complex. and I'm talking about we're going to take care of families, take care of individuals, and we're going to make it happen.
So this is the vision that God has given you.
God gave me this vision. He gave it to me about a year and a half ago.
Mm.
And I'm going to tell you, it came full circle, right? Because about a year and a half ago, I made a couple of these shirts. And a young lady was doing a point of count in Killeen where they go out and count the house. And I gave her like 8 or 9 T-shirts. Mm-hmm. Now I get to meet with this young lady again next week. And that's how I came full circle. Mm-hmm. So that's God, you know, working in His way.
Right.
You know, He gave me this vision.
Yeah.
It's not mine. It's His.
Yeah, and you know the Bible talks about it. Says that it's at an appointed time, and He said, "Wait for it," and He said, "It will not tarry." That's Scripture, and I just get so excited because I hear and not only that, but see what you're doing. And like I said, I got so excited. We were still in the office, and it was time to get on broadcast. You know, I was so excited. I mean, you got to talking, and not only that, I believe what you're doing and what you're saying. You know, some people just do a lot of talking, but I see there's substance behind your talking. And you know, when you put God in front of it, the Bible says there's nothing impossible. You know, and when you put God inside your equation, things will work out. It don't work out the way we think they should work out, but it works out because God orchestrated this thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I believe that.
Yeah.
You know.
Now let's go back a little bit. We was talking earlier, and I was laughing when you said you was in the military, you got out of the military, and Mama said, "Hey, you gotta get out of here. You gotta do something."
Yes, sir. So the first 3 years I was in the military, I was at Fort Campbell, and I was in air defense. And anyone who knows that job knows that it don't convert to anything in the civilian world. Mm-hmm. And so I went home to Galveston. I was back doing the same things I was doing before I went to the military. I was like 21 years old, and my mom was like, "Hey, you have to get out of this house and do something else." Because you're running my light bill up,
food
bill, the water bill, and you're not doing anything productive.
Right.
And so when I told her, I say, "I'm thinking about going back to the military." I said, "I'm thinking about it." She just hugged me and was very proud at that moment that I thought about going back. Mm-hmm. But the sheer fact that I thought about going back to the military made her very proud because it wasn't a lot of opportunities going on back to where I was at. And so 9 months later, I came back into the military, and I chose a job that converted to the civilian world, HR. Mm-hmm. And I did that for the next 20 years. And then when I retired, I also got an HR degree.
Amen.
I got an HR degree. Not many people know that. Mm-hmm.
And they do now.
They do now. And I think that comes in handy also with the things that I'm doing.
Yes.
I'm working with people, and I'm using my people skills. I know things like non-compete, mm-hmm. Microeconomics, macroeconomics. I know those kind of terms, and it works well with the things I'm doing with other people. Mm-hmm. So I guess I am using that degree in a sense.
Right. Now let's back up a little bit further back, how you was raised and what was going on in your environment in the Galveston area.
Oh, wow. So the movie Colors first came out in Galveston, and how we're sitting right here with each other right now, we can be best of friends, cousins, stepbrothers, or whatever. We can be talking right like this. And when the movie Colors came out, that tore up Galveston. One project became one color, the other project became another color. How they chose colors, I don't know. But that tore up families. Mm-hmm. You had Bloods, you had Crips, and Galveston's so small. Galveston is an island. And we only had 2 high schools. We had a private school and we had a public school. Mm-hmm. And I've seen people that were killed 15, 16 years old, 14, execution style. These are friends. Mm-hmm. And, going back to those days, like death became numb. It became numb. Mm-hmm. Shootings every day. At one point in time, somebody got killed every single day.
Wow.
Every single day somebody got killed in Galveston. Mm-hmm. And it was like, you couldn't even cry no more. Mm-hmm. It's like man, so and so got killed. Oh man, and that's all you can say is, oh man, and then you go about your day.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so when I went to the military and we went to combat, whatever, those things didn't bother me.
Mm-hmm.
I was numb to those situations, and so it was like I was covered with armor because Galveston prepared me for those war moments,
Mm-hmm.
those combat moments.
Wow.
So yeah.
Yeah,
So
and then you told me that you worked at the Pentagon.
yes, sir. I worked at the
And
Pentagon.
Washington D.C. is not a fun place neither, because they're pretty rough over there.
Well, fortunately, I had a nice cushy job. I worked with a lot of general officers.
Uh-huh.
I worked with a lot of GOs. We were like the hub for the general officers.
Mhm.
So let's say like all the 4-star generals in the Army, we were like the hub for all of those, and for all the generals, all the 1-star all the way up. We would know people that were getting promoted before they got promoted. We would make the phone calls to a colonel promotable. So let's say like there's a colonel get promoted to 1-star. I would call the colonel, and let's say he's in a meeting. At the time, I was like a staff sergeant or a sergeant first class. I'll call him up, and let's say his aide answers the phone, and they say, "Oh, he's in the meeting or she's in the meeting." I'll be like, "Go get him out the meeting right now."
Just like that.
Just like that, because sometimes they are rude to you, and they're rude because that's how they talk to people.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Go get him out the meeting. I need to talk to him."
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, "Who is this again?" And I'm like, "What the staff sergeant done?" Kind of like a nobody in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, what is this about?" I'm calling on the behalf of the CSA of the Army. And so I'll call them up and I'll make their day. I'm like, "Hey, sir, ma'am, on behalf of the CSA of the Army, you have been selected as the Brigadier General," and they hear their smile over the phone. It makes your day because, they're so happy. A lot of people don't get selected to their rank or their grade. So it kind of like made your day to like be that person to, tell them that they get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like I love that job for 3 years, but I miss the soldiers. So I asked to come back to Fort Hood to be around soldiers, and then that's when I started not getting promoted. I started being deployed to Afghanistan, and I tell you what, that first deployment to Afghanistan was the worst one ever. My first deployment to Iraq, I was shot at, mortared, everything else. My first deployment to Afghanistan, none of that happened, right? We got mortared, but it was like outside the gate. But the leadership I had, that made it the worst deployment
Wow.
ever.
Okay.
Yeah, leadership can make or break a deployment.
Mm-hmm.
If you got bad leaders, it can mess up a deployment.
Wow.
I don't go into detail because they might be watching, but
You're right. But you say you've been shot at, you've been stabbed, and
yeah, I got stabbed in '95, bled out, they cut an artery, almost died. Just doing dumb stuff at a young age, and that's why I tell my kids now, Daddy did all the dumb stuff. You don't have to do anything that Daddy did. I did all this stuff when I was young. You are suburbanized. You suburbanized. You don't have to live the life that we lived. They eat noodles and Vienna sausages because they want to, not because they have to.
Right. And
but
spam.
so my wife is from Guam,
Okay.
and they love spam. So spam is like a delicacy.
Like a steak.
Yeah, it's like a steak. When I had spam coming up, we had it like it was frozen, and so all that slime and stuff was on the spam.
Right.
It turned me off from it. I never had to cook, so my wife cooks it, so it's good now.
And I remember that government cheese.
Oh my God, that was the hardest cheese ever to cook, right?
Man, you try to make a cheese sandwich, and a grilled cheese sandwich, and the cheese does not melt.
It does not melt.
And if it goes inside you're constipated for at least 3 to 4 days straight. So I still remember that.
But that was the best. That was the best cheese sandwich ever. Though.
Yeah, you had to survive, so we survived back then,
Oh my God.
as you can tell.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, so you have been through so much at a early and a young age at this present time.
Yes,
you
sir.
know. And I see and hear your ministry and the ideas, other things that you're doing in the community. What else are you doing? You know, I know you got this the bum coming up.
Yes, sir. So we have a meeting next week with the city of Killeen.
Okay.
And we're going to talk about development and of the programs and stuff that we're going to do for BUM.
Mhm.
And with God's help, I know that we're going to get that developed soon.
Yes.
We're going to find land and we're going to create opportunities for other people to get involved. We also have Duns and Sons Vending and ATM Services LLC, and that is our vending and ATM machines that we have.
Yeah, what did I say it again?
Vending.
So it's extra sideline that you can put together. All you got to do is just have the initiative to do it.
Yes, sir. Vending and ATM machines. And my sons, they help us with that. I pay my sons $5 a week. Two of my sons, $5 a week to help us with the machines. That way they can have their money coming in for the snacks that they eat throughout the week. And my oldest son, he has a gumball machine in a barbershop. And he had that since he was 11. He's 13 now.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Entrepreneurs.
Yes, sir.
In the making.
Entrepreneurs. And I want them to be able to make their own decisions when they get older, to not have to work for anybody else. But if they decide to do that, they may have that option. You know, my grandfather was an entrepreneur. He had his own gas station, and his own mechanic shop. So when he retired, he sold his shop, moved to Louisiana on this property, and lived out the rest of his days. I have an uncle who has his own real estate company, Homes Done Right.
Say it again. Give a shout out.
Homes Done Right in Houston, Texas.
Okay.
He has his own real estate company. He wrote a few books, and so I kind of like pattern myself after him and my grandfather. Even my family members that been to prison, and who've been through things in life, I look at them and say, okay, I can learn those things, what not to do, and try to go down the right path. I'm not perfect, but I've done some things, but I know what right is and what wrong is. So that's how I try to live my life.
And you're here to talk about it.
Yes, sir.
You're not like sitting on a stone and says, "Here lay this beginning, end, and little dash in the middle." So I appreciate that. I mean, you have done so much in a short period of time, and you're a living person to talk about it. Not only that you have your own corporation, you and your wife. I put it away because takes two. You have your own LLC, and all that. You got your own vending machine going on, machines, because they're in different places, and
Yes, sir.
gumball machines, because actually still yours,
Yeah.
So, I mean, so many different things that you're doing. So, in other words, if you want to be an entrepreneur and it's in your heart, it can happen.
It can happen. So many people say everybody not able. I hear people say that all the time, but everybody is able.
Yes.
People say that they wasn't given opportunities, or they were a product of their environment. Look at me. I grew up in the place I grew up at, and I rose above all that. I don't forget where I come from, but I know that I was able to create opportunities for myself and my family. I give my sons what they need and what they want, but they also work for it. They're not going to be spoiled brats or entitled. They're going to work for the things that they have. So everybody has the opportunity to create the opportunities for themselves.
Wow.
They can create avenues and work around the mess that they have around them and go through the mess. We don't have to sit in it. We can go through it, and not make an excuse of why we not where we need to be at.
Wow. It reminds me of, it's a slogan, and I didn't think of it myself, but it says, "A mind is a terrible thing to waste."
Yes, sir.
So in other words, God has given us, He's always given us the ability. Only thing He wants to do is just perform it. and He's there to lead us and guide us in what we need to do.
Yes, sir.
I mean, it's just, I mean, it's, you know, I've seen people with no arms and no legs do more than people with arms and legs. And I'm like, what's going on here? And it's because they have the ability, but sometimes they focus on the wrong thing and look what they done to me and all sort of stuff. But you got to still rise above that because everybody got done wrong before.
Right.
And we done people wrong before.
Right.
But we still got to rise up above that and keep on going forward in the Lord.
Yeah.
But I'm so excited. Go ahead.
We can't sit back and think about, hey, that person's holding me down. Yeah, it's true. They're gonna make it harder for you to get through things, but we have to say, you know what? I'm gonna fight them fire with fire.
Right.
You know, whatever they doing to me, I can do it back. You know, but I'm not gonna do it with mess.
Right.
I'm gonna do it the right way.
Right.
You know, because when they see you throwing dirt back at them, that's when they can say, okay, that person's not who I want to work with. That person, I don't want to, you know, do business with that person because they're throwing dirt. You know how in a fight or a football game, the referee sees the second person.
Right.
You know, and that's how life is.
Yeah.
They see the second person throwing the dirt back or throwing the swing back. You know, when you say the person with no arms, no legs, I remember it was a exercise program called P90X. And this guy was on P90X. He had one leg. And I was like, man, this guy's doing P90X with one leg. What am I complaining about? Why can't I get through the program and he's doing it with one leg?
Yeah.
And so that was my motivation to keep doing it.
Yeah. Wow. God sent people our way so we could see and view. And not only that, but saying, hey, now if they could do something, I know I could do much better than what I'm doing right now.
Yeah.
Man, see, I've seen people and they still sitting on the corner with a 40 in their hand, done nothing.
Yeah.
You know, and the concept they would have is, you think you're better than I am. And, you know, like, that's the weakest conversation. You know, because you probably say, come on now, you could do something now. You know, at least take the trash out, do something.
All those 40s you bought, you could have bought property.
Right. I had a gentleman tell me one time, a banker told me this, and I asked him about some property. I said, you think I should buy this? And he said, Pastor Beeman, he said, they're making everything else but land. And so he gave me my answer right there.
Yeah.
Get it. And so I did. Just like that. So, okay, I didn't have to ask no more, you know. And that's true. I mean, you know, land is here, but they ain't making no more land.
They ain't making no more land. Like, I just bought some investment property a year and a half ago, and it's still sitting there, but people around me are building. I'm just waiting for them to build before I sell.
Right.
You know?
That's
See,
smart.
you know, people don't read, you know, or we too invested in other people's business to have our own business.
Wow. Now say that again, because people need to hear this. You remember that? Remember message? Okay. Let's say that again.
We are too invested in other people's business to have our own business. You know, we too busy watching people fight and, you know, watching what's going on in the news. News is important, but the right news is important.
Right.
You know, but when it's all that mess going on and we worrying about who got what and who has this, who has that, what do we have?
Right.
You know, and I'm trying to build generational wealth. I want my grandkids to say that, man, Papa left us this. You know, that's what I'm reaching for.
Yeah, I've seen this on television and even, you know, viewed it my own self. But, you know, we have people that are have allegations, they have trials pending, but they keep on going. They don't stop.
Yeah,
I'm like, now why am I watching this person and I'm not doing nothing? 'Cause I'm watching him or her, you know, see if they can get to go to jail or not, or they get indictment. And I'm saying, well, what am I doing? You know, I'm so in tune to that I'm not even understanding what God is telling me what to do.
Exactly.
And you know, you lit a fire underneath me. I was in a meeting yesterday, and this young lady that was talking, her name was Nancy, and she lit the fire up underneath me yesterday about doing something about things in the area. And then here you come again the next day and saying, hey, things are going on and what you have done is for, and there's some more fire that's lit in me, you know, again. And I'm like, well, you know, I mean, come on, God, I got it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
got it. Do
yeah.
something. Not just don't be about it. Just do it.
Yeah, and God speaks to us like that. Like I got a best friend of mine. He been wanting to like leave his job, but every time he get ready to leave his job, God sends him to a patient, and the patient is outstanding. The patient like they speak to each other, they talk to each other, they have great conversation, and he's like, God, why you? Come on, God, like. I'm trying to leave this job, but you giving me a patient that needs me. So my best friend, he's a double amputee, and he works for a new brace limb company. And so he goes out and he helps the patients out and speaks to them from life experience. And so when he goes to talk to the patients, it's like, man, that patient was awesome. I need to talk to that patient as well as that they need to talk to me. So it's like they're feeding off each other. And so he's like, come on, God, I can't leave this job.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. It's all in God's timing, And sometimes that, and I follow this also. Sometimes I want God to do it. I want to do it right now. And the Lord said, no, it's not time because I need you to understand that I'm God first. The Lord is my shepherd. So God is my leader first. And I submit myself unto him. It's easy to say, Lord, I submit myself unto you, and whatever you say or wherever you say go, I'll go. It's easy saying that. Yeah. But then when it's time to go, well, Lord, you didn't tell me what to do. And Lord said, no. He said, just go. Yeah. And sometimes we want a blueprint of everything. It's like building a house. Sometimes God don't give us that blueprint. He said, okay, once you go, then I will give you this. And once you go, then I add some more. And once you go, I add some more to it. And then at the end, there it is, completed. And we want it all right then and there. We want God. Well, God, give me $1 million. I know, and God said, no, if I give you $1 million, I wouldn't hear from you in a while. Yeah. So you do your own thing, So.
Yeah, and I believe that because like if you come in a lump sum of money, you're gonna go. Well, I know me personally, I probably go buy a whole bunch of Jordans.
But that's being honest. Yeah.
I go buy my C8 Corvette that I want. And. I'm gonna do some right things with some money, but majority of it I'm gonna go do what I want to do with it. And so that's why God's being patient with me. He's like, hold on now, I know you want the C8 Corvette, but hold up, you're not right now, So that's why, like you said, he's gonna give it to you when he wants to give it to you.
Right.
He's gonna be patient with you. I had a friend of mine, LaShavio. He told me the other day. He said, man, think about where you came from. And think about where you're at right now. Because he came to my house for Super Bowl Sunday. And he's like, he said, you talking the other day about which car you want to drive or whatever, right? He said, think about that, man, how powerful that is. Think about you have options of which car you want to drive the next day. He said, people don't have that option. I said, man, I didn't think about it like that. I didn't think about I have the option of which car I want to drive or which car I'm able to drive, or, just go sit on the balcony or sitting on the patio. I have an option of which one I want to do. And, sometimes I have to sit back and say, God, thank you for blessing me with what I have right now because I didn't come from this.
Right.
I came literally from like, nothing. And look at you now, you showing out, I'm sitting out here in this.
Right.
So thank you, God, for blessing me for everything you've given to me.
Yeah. I get excited about my wife. She took all the closet up in the bedroom. She took all the closet up with her clothes. Okay. Yeah. Then we have another room. She took all of those closets up with her clothes, and I'm like, honey, that's a whole lot of clothes that you got. But then I thought about myself, and I'm like, okay, well, I took up all this. Now I'm in another room taking up some extra clothes, closet. I said, well, I got just how much you do, Lord. I said, Lord, I just thank you. Yeah. That's all I can say because I recall going to school, I only had 3 pair of pants.
Yes.
And what I do, once I get them out, I wash them by hand, put them on the clothesline. Because there was no dryer back then. Right. We didn't have one. And hope it didn't rain that night. Yeah. And it dry out in the morning time, and then take them and then fold them up real nice, sit on them for about 5 minutes, iron them, and then put them on. I still remember that just as clear.
Yeah.
And I had a guy named Bobby D. Jefferson. he gave me some blue jeans. He gave me 5 pair of starchy blue jeans.
Yeah.
And I was just overwhelmed.
Yeah.
And I would alternate those with my other 3 pair of pants.
Yeah.
I still remember that.
Kids these days, my son, he had a ceremony, and I'm watching it as they calling the kids' names, right? And they're walking by. The only thing I see is Crocs and slippers going by. I remember the days where people used to have like the nice name brand shoes and the nice clothes that was no wrinkles in them. People took pride in their clothes. Now, kids just walk by, no pride in the clothes. They're wearing basketball shorts to school, the tank tops. I mentor a kid also in this elementary school. I showed up. He had on house shoes, and I'm like, man, I want so bad to buy his kid some clothes, but we can't do that.
Well, the scripture says,
But it's not as if he can't afford them.
Right.
It's just that I want to dress him. I want to like, hey man, put this on, man. Man, you look good in this. But the kids don't have pride in their stuff anymore. I could like you said, I had like maybe 2 pair of jeans, and I had maybe like 3 or 4 shirts. I would switch up the jeans and the shirts throughout the week. One time I wore one of my female cousins' jumpers. And it was a Guess jumper, so I didn't know that the Guess were pink for girls and green for boys. And so I tried to cover it up with a rag, and one of my homeboys saw me. He said, "Man, you got on a girl jumper." I say, "Man, how can you tell?" He said, "It's pink." I said, "Oh man." So I had that's the first time telling that story, but yeah, he called me out on that, and I'm glad he called me out on the side, not in front of everybody else. But I didn't know that. That's how I didn't have no clothes. But I had an uncle that when I got into high school, he started buying us like tennis shoes, and he took care of us with the shoes, but the clothes. Yeah.
I recall I wanted a Nautica shirt. I wanted a Nautica shirt. That's they was pretty famous back then. Them and Polo and everything.
Yeah.
So I went to the store and I bought me a Nautica shirt. I thought it was Nautica.
Nautica.
Nautical with an L at the end. And people laughing at me, it was an off-brand. I didn't know. I said, man, I didn't know it was not a call. Yeah. And then, once you wash it, it moves over to the side, so it's not centered anymore. Yeah. So it's sitting all up underneath it. I feel bad.
Do you remember Knights of the Round Table?
Yes, I remember that.
They have the fake polo shirt.
Yes.
I had a couple of them. I thought I had a polo shirt. I even I was in the group called the Polo Boys. They kicked me out because I had a Knights of the Round Table shirt on.
You didn't have the original, huh?
I ain't had no polo shirt. Man,
you was perpetrating.
Man, I was faking.
Wow.
Yeah, man. I could sit up all day and tell the stories, but yeah. But those were the days, and like now, I buy my kids these. At first, my first son, I was buying a name brand, everything. When he was like first born, I bought like 20 outfits. He couldn't wear them all because he was growing so fast. But it was my firstborn, so I thought, man, I didn't know kids can grow that fast. And Jordans and whatever, right? The shoes. And my mother-in-law was saying, why you buying him all these clothes? He's not going to be able to wear all of them, or he's going to grow out of them. I was like, man, it's my son. He gonna wear firstborn. He gonna wear the name brand, everything. And then my second one was born. And now they're 5 years apart, so I couldn't do the hand-me-downs real quick. So my second one, I got a little smart, and I started buying him I started going to Burlington Coat Factory,
right?
Buying the little outfits, you can find on sale and stuff. Then my third one was born. They're 18 months apart, so I was like, well, he can wear those clothes. Yeah. So now it's like, when I got older, I was like, man, I can go to Walmart and
yeah,
and buy these shorts the kids don't know the difference.
Right,
You know,
that's
especially in
true.
elementary school, they don't care about this.
Uh-huh.
They're gonna be on their knees anyway, putting holes in their jeans and everything, writing on their jeans. I used to get mad because the kids come home, they got markers on their jeans.
Uh-huh.
I'm like, why you writing on your jeans? You know, my wife, you know, she don't mind because you know, she a girl, she's a boy mom. You know, she don't care. But I'm like, man, come on, man, you writing on your jeans, your shoes all jacked up, buy them new shoes. They're walking on the shoelaces,
Right.
and so it's like I can't care no more.
Right.
My oldest one's getting it now. He's 13, so he's in 8th grade. So he's getting it. He's starting to, you know, he got his hair dreaded up now. So he's starting to, you know, get his hair done and get his jeans, you know, looking nice, shirt looking nice. He's starting to match a little bit, you know. So he's starting to get it.
Wow, that's
Yeah.
awesome. ID person, is anybody watching that we need to know about? Okay, Amanda Carter from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Thank you for watching, Amanda Carter.
Oh, Hop Town.
Yeah, it's from Hopkinsville, Kentucky. Okay, Dr. Leela Butler, thank you for watching. Okay, if you need your name up, go ahead and type your name in and we'll call you out before we're about to end this session. But, you know, Nigel,
Nigel.
I keep saying Nigel. Nigel. Well, I'm gonna mess his name up, and you're gonna be saying, "Cut this thing off. We're gonna duplicate this thing and do it right." But you know, I'm glad you have came this direction. You know, we met, and so we got the bum ministry that's gonna take place.
Yes,
You're
sir.
about to go and meet with the city, which is awesome.
Yes, sir.
Not only that, you got vending machines going on, and
Yes.
you're married, and
Yeah.
not only that, and you got wear. So you make shirts, t-shirts also.
Yes.
Okay, so you didn't talk about that part.
So I made these T-shirts, and I also had another company called ABD. That was my first company I started.
Okay.
It's called Armed but Dangerous. It's with a question mark.
Uh-huh.
So little kids like Tamira Rice, you know, who was shot and killed by police officers for having a toy gun. Fernando Castile, who was shot because he had a gun, and the officer shot him because he got scared because he had a gun, but he had a concealed permit. Daniel Shaver, you know, Ryan Whitaker, all these people were shot and killed by police officers. But were they dangerous? They were not dangerous. You know, these people were shot and killed by police because they were scared and they said those words, "I fear for my life." You know, so I made a company called Armed but Dangerous. So I started making shirts. You know, I made hats and everything.
Wow.
But that company really didn't take off. But let me tell you something crazy. I wore a shirt and a hat to the barbershop the other day, and this guy wanted to buy my company.
Wow.
Yeah, he liked the stuff, and I was like, man, I said, well, let me think about it. We can probably talk about something later, and you can probably put something in on it, because all we need to do is marketing, and go worldwide. But like you said, it's gonna come when God's ready for it to come.
Wow.
You
Want to
know,
buy your company.
Want to buy the
Wow,
company.
that's- My God.
But all we need is the right people to see it.
Exactly.
And people gonna get the message. Because I feel like just because you have a gun don't mean that you're dangerous.
Right.
I carry because I want to protect my family, protect myself. Nowadays people running up in schools and everything else, and I feel, my personal opinion, I feel like teachers who are properly trained should be able to carry. That's just my opinion.
Right.
But yeah, so that's the other company I had. But yeah, but Bumwear, we're gonna start when people donate $25, they get a T-shirt, short sleeve T-shirt. If they donate $35 or more, they get a choice of this shirt, a hoodie, and a T-shirt.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but when they donate, they get something in return.
Okay. Well, we got to invest into that.
Yes, sir.
So,
Yes, sir.
extra large. Okay.
Extra large. I got you. I got you.
Not small. I'm just playing. You knew I was small.
I got you.
But I appreciate that. I'm glad you came on and not only that, talk about it and all that, the view and the audience. where they can hear and see and all of that, but they can get in contact with you. Now, give us your website. I don't know if the IT person has your website down there. Okay,
Yes,
the
sir.
website. Okay, the person
And
does
you can
have it
also
down
reach me at blessingsunDelivered@gmail.com. If you have any questions, you can reach out to me.
there. Okay,
Um,
say it again.
blessings with an S, undelivered@gmail.com. And our cash app is undelivered bum. Undelivered bum. Yes, ma'am. Bum.
All right. See,
Yes,
we
sir.
get right on the spot.
Yeah.
They look at you right down there and see what's going on.
Yeah, and anything that we make from donations or anything from the shirts, anything we make goes right back into Bum, and all that money goes right back into the community. We did a giveaway on January the 14th, where we gave away 50 hoodies that had these logos on it, and we're doing an event on June 24th in Killeen. We're going to give away hydration systems.
Okay.
With the
Yeah,
water
your wife did
sources.
say something about that.
Yes,
Okay.
sir. We're going to give those away to 50 unhoused, and we're going to have a food truck. I talked to a food truck, barbecue food truck. They're going to come out there. People who are unhoused going to have a bracelet. They eat for free. I'm trying to get another food truck out there, have some music and stuff. So just come out, support. If you have any clothes or whatever, we'll greatly appreciate it. But yeah, so the unhoused is going to get hydration systems and eat for free.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
Wow. Did y'all get that? Now, y'all got to go somewhere, to get this. It's not going to come to you, but you got to go to it. And to talk about the events that, April,
June
oh,
24th.
June 24th, okay? So go to Killeen, Hooker Heights, where?
So just go to my website, go to thebummovement.org. Location right now is to be determined, but it is going to be in Killeen, and we're looking for it to be at the old HEB downtown. If you're familiar with Killeen, you know where the old HEB
know exactly.
is.
Yes. Almost in the hood.
Yes, sir.
Know exactly where it is.
That's what we're trying to have it at.
I used to walk that neighborhood
Yes,
back in the
sir.
day and didn't know where I was doing, where I was going, but I used to walk that neighborhood
Yes, sir.
and survive. Thank you, Jesus.
Yes.
Hallelujah. Okay.
Yes.
Well, thank you for coming and hanging out with us.
And we're trying to do free haircuts.
Oh, a free haircut.
We're trying to do free haircuts. I'm trying to
Okay.
get one of my barber friends to come out there and do free haircuts.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're trying to make a day of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. That is awesome. Anything else you want to close us out with before we shut this down?
Now, I just want to thank God for this opportunity. I want to thank you for having me, and shout out to my wife, my kids. Shout out to my whole board, LaShavio, Ken, Derek, Locust. Hope I ain't forgetting anybody. So thank you, everybody.
Appreciate you all. Thank you for helping out this ministry right here, because it's all about him and not about us. So if we just think about others and quit thinking about just ourselves and things that help out, we need to work together. We're better together than we are apart. So so take that to heart. We're better together than we are apart. So we know that God has the great things for us, and not only this ministry and our ministry, but your ministry also. So if you're interested in coming on the podcast and just talk about your ministry and what you do, and not only that, but how you helping and grow the community, just get in contact with me, and just call the church at 254-899-9321. You see, I didn't give you my cell phone number. I gave you the church number, 254-899-9321. And IT person, don't put my cell number up there. And so that's my niece back there. That's the IT person. But the idea is to let you know that we will accommodate you and all of that, but we get you on schedule, and we'll see what it's all about, okay? So remember that God is in charge of everything that you do if you allow him to be in charge. Thank you, Mr. Dunn, D-U-N-N.
Yes, sir.
I ain't call the first name, I call the last name D-U-N-N, and house done right in Houston, home done right. Yeah. Not a house is not a home. Yes, remember that? Yeah. That was an old song.
I remember that.
But Shout out to those gentlemen also in the Houston area, and also a shout out to everybody that's on your board and everything that you're doing. So I really do appreciate you doing this, and not only that, we thank you that you have came this far just to get information out and let you know that if you think you're not an entrepreneur, come talk to this man right here. He can tell you how to get some things going and things done, and not only that, but be your own person and don't have to work for somebody. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can work for yourself and make the proceeds so you give God the glory behind everything that you do.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You say that all.
Oh man, that's deep. Okay, but thank you for joining us. Appreciate you. I know it took a little overtime than we usually do, but it's okay. You know, when things are good and people get to conversating, things go well. So God bless you. Love you. See you on Sunday morning. Bye.